back again with my dirty gloves. Just did that other pour for you. This one. Pretty good. I just didn't like the caterpillars. So I'm going to try another one without the caterpillars. And also trying a slightly smaller cup, just so that when I flip them, when the paint runs down to the bottom, it doesn't mix as much either. So I'm going to try that. So coconut milk hair serum for the cells today. And I'm still going to put 2 drops in. 2 tiny little drops. Try not to get a trace behind the drop, because you end up with 3 or 4 drops when you do that. Tiny little drops. Okay. And 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I think that's about 3. Might be 4. Okay, so pouring medium, same as the last video. Just floetrol and glue, equal parts. Excuse me. And pouring medium, 3 parts to 1 part global paint. And I'm just going to layer each colour in twice. Excuse me. I might actually, because I don't want mud, I might actually just pour these in on top of each other. That way there's no pressure going in from the one colour into the other colour, and they should stay nice and separated. There's no reason why you have to drizzle in. You can pour in like this over the top, probably a bit faster too. And you don't have the pressure of the one colour pushing down onto the other colour, going right through and making mud. We'll see if it's any different anyway. Let's finish this white off. So day off from work today, and I've done quite a lot of paintings today. Plus I've done a video on how to varnish for you, but I can't put that up yet because I'm going to wait until the painting is dry, and then I can show you the how to and the after, so you can see how it turned out. So that won't be ready for a few days. I've got it underneath this table on the floor, and it's got a huge food net over it to keep any bugs and fluff or whatever's floating around the house out of it, because I don't want that in my lovely shiny surface. And oh yes, orange again. Kind of lost my orange in the last pour. Hardly got any of it showing through. Don't know what happened to it. Mind you, there's a lot of blue and only 1 orange shade, so 4 shades of blue and 1 orange. So it is likely to be taken over when you look at it that way. And I don't want the light blue next to the orange, so I'm going to just put the dark blue in next. I think the darker blue next to the orange is better, or it could be what's making mud. Hard to know. So with the last video, I poured all the paint out and then I torched. So I'm not going to torch this time, because when I torched, all the tiny little cells and all the little caterpillars came up. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to let it settle for a minute, and then I'll tilt. If you've got a good mix, if you're pouring mediums right and your oil for your cells right, you don't really need to torch. So because the paint's nearly at the top, when I flip it over, it doesn't have a long way to go down the sides of the cups and become mud. So hopefully that will work out better than having a too large a cup, and then as the paint has to run all the way down to the bottom and it mixes and blends. We don't really want that. We want the colours to come out in their layers to give us nice bright colours. That's the theory. Got some little blue cells coming through the orange there. So, same as last pour, we have my blue that I've made up myself. And white. My navy that I make up myself. Lovely dark blue. And orange. And then the Marina, which is the limited edition colour. When this came out, I think I bought 8 bottles of it. So I've got a bit of it to go. And then once I run out of it, I'll have to start making my own up, which is what I do. And I really love a colour and it's a limited edition colour and you can't get it anymore. I just try and match the colour as best I can and make my own. Okay, let's see how we're going to go with this. Lots of paint left in. I'm going to have to bring it up the top there. I don't really like to do that, but such a lot of paint in there that I will. Well, that's pretty. Wow, look at all the little tiny white ones. My goodness. Move these cups out of the way. I'm buying my plastic cups by the boxes of 1,000 now. Oh, look at that. I've made a drip in there or something. Must have picked up some paint and dragged it across. That corner may go off anyway. Now, where I've brought the colour back up again, I get this bend. So to try and combat that, I'm just going to drag the orange through there and drag that through there and try and drag that through there as well, just because I don't like the curves at the bottom. Alright, so no torching. Don't want to bring up any worms. I've already got one there. My cup must have caught the side of the paint and just dragged the paint through. I think that's what causes them. I'm not sure. I do have a little bubble there, but hopefully it won't cause too much problems. It might pop as I move the paint around. Okay, let's do it. Cannot believe these tiny little white ones. Go figure. Right, let's go. Pop a tiny bit of paint on the corner there. I don't want to tilt it, it's too pretty. Have to. Way too much paint on there. I don't really like that corner there, so it can go. Oh, such a messy table, all my paint run off under there. I'll clean up after this one. Okay, down we go. See if we can get rid of some of this tiny little cells down here. I don't know what's causing those. It's what happens when I change my pouring medium mix. Pretty much have to start from scratch. learn all over again what's doing what. Just going to get that little flick off the corner there that I obviously made as I dragged my hand across. I'm not sure how I did that. And back to the center again. Well, that's just totally different to what I was expecting. It's amazing how you can use the same paints, same recipe, same amounts of everything, and get something totally different. So the two differences from the last pour to this pour: one, I used smaller cups, so my paints didn't mix as much, and two, I didn't torch beforehand. I really don't like this, all these white, it's too much. Look at this, it's like a big backbone and a tail in white. It's just bizarre. All right, now I will give it a torch. I think I like the previous one better. Just don't like all that white. Seeing if I can get something to come up in this corner which is a bit plain, and we'll get a little bit more in this dark blue here and a little bit more across that orange. And that's it. That is really unusual. I don't know what's caused that, but I don't like it. Tiny little cells. The torching does that. It brings up these tiny little ones. Little tiny cells. So if you don't want tiny cells, don't torch before or after. Just leave what you've got. These pale blue ones in the dark background, they're really pretty. Again, lots and lots and lots of cells. Okay, I'll show you the previous one, which I do prefer. Trying to replicate it though is going to be tricky. Okay, there we go. That's that one. Even though it's muddier, that one. I mean, people may well like that one. It's got a lot of white in it. This one's more cells, has got a little bit more mud in it. This one hasn't really got mud at all in it, but has got all those tiny, tiny little white cells. Just bizarre. I don't know what caused those. Okay, let's take you in for a close-up. And I think that will do me today. I've done 3 of these in the blues and orange. I've done my varnish. And what else did I do? I think I did something else. Oh, I did the I did a couple of the purple and blue and pinks this morning as well. So I've done a lot today. I think I'll have a little rest and go and sit down now. So what do you think of those little tiny white cells? They're very strange. I think I need to just go back to my original pouring medium. Then I know what I can expect. But anyway, you guys let me know what you think. Come and join the Australian Acrylic Pouring group. I'll have all these paintings up on the group page and you can tell me which one you prefer. I'd like to hear your thoughts, see if I'm heading in the right direction or not. All right, I'll go and clean up this mess and I will see you for the next one. Bye for now.